The development of Andy Davis from Toy Story is something to be read in the history books. From 1995 to 2019, the millennial age group grew up with him, and because of that, it made people understand just how hard it was to watch him let go of his beloved toys that he's held on to for so long. Here at Film Study, we focus on creating stories based on the idea of changing film scenes and create another viewpoint based on that idea. Today I wanted to change it up though and take you through history with the most memorable moments and some that you might have missed. Hey guys, and welcome to Film Study, where we analyze films in various ways to make you see it in a different concept, and change a part of a scene and figure out how the rest of the story would play out based on a single change in one scene. Before we get into the timeline, I wanted to focus on how this character was thought of in the first place. According to Toy Story producer Ralph Guggenheim, in a December 1995 Animation Magazine article, John Lasseter and the story team for Toy Story reviewed the names of Pixar employees' children, looking for the right name for Woody's owner. Andy was ultimately named after and based on Andy Luckey, the son of animator Buddy Luckey, Pixar's fifth employee and the creator of Woody. And in the original storyboards, it indicates that Andy was going to wear glasses. He's imaginative, respectful, and loving, as we can tell by how he treats his toys, sister, and mom throughout his life and as he leaves for college. With the recent film Lightyear, the events of Toy Story and thus Andy's 6th birthday occur in 1995, the first film's release year. This means he was born in 1989, and the events of Toy Story 3 occur in 2007 when Andy is 17 and a half, as opposed to its release year in 2010. This could be summed up to be just a continuity error. We enter on Toy Story with Andy playing with Woody and the rest of the toys he has at the time, Bo Peep, Rex, and Mr. Potato Head. He sports a green t-shirt with a cowboy hat and blue jean shorts. It's apparent that the cowboy theme is his favorite, having written his name on the bottom of his shoe. His relationship with his little sister Molly is sweet, sharing a room with her even, which makes no sense considering it's a two-story house. Nonetheless, it's apparent that the two share a good bond. Woody has said from the very beginning that what's most important is that the toys are there for Andy when he needs them. And he's right, although we never seen Andy in a classroom or at school, which would have been interesting. He's obviously not completely alone, as we see friends coming to his 6th birthday party. However, we do see him play with his toys alone majority of the time, so it's safe to say he prefers this.
No, it's okay, Mom. It's a 50-foot baby from outer space, and she's on a rampage.
He also loves coloring, as we can see from all over the wall, and even though there's books and board games, we never see him play with those. Kids tend to have a theme to what they like, obviously cowboys, then space toys. However, the only space toy he gets is Buzz, and not any other one, even going as far as storing Woody in the chest. What I found the most interesting was since he got Buzz, while he plays with him, he plays with both Woody and Buzz at the same time, but Buzz attacking Woody, foreshadowing their relationship, and he doesn't do this with any other toy.
Oh, all this packing makes me hungry. What would you say to dinner at, Pizza Planet?
Pizza Planet? Oh, cool.
He is also an obvious fan of Pizza Planet, the animated version of Chuck E. Cheese. In the end, he, his mom, and his sister open presents on Christmas Day. His new room is decorated with equal likes of Buzz and Woody, with one pillow each, with a cowboy design and rocket ship. On to Toy Story 2 in 1999. Even though the release date is 4 years later, the events take place just 1 year, while Andy is now 7 years old. We enter on Woody and Buzz looking for his hat as Andy is expected to leave for cowboy camp. Andy barges in, now a room of his own, seemingly a little taller than we previously saw him, still wearing the very large version of Jesse's red hat. By this time, he plays with Andy and Buzz as a team, again foreshadowing their current relationship. When Woody's arm rips, even though his mom suggests that she fix him on the way to camp, he still refuses, but still devastated that he cannot come with. The only other time we see Andy is when he returns, barging in his room once again and immediately looks for Woody. Toy Story 3 in 2010, Andy is now 17. We enter on a flashback scene of Andy role-playing with all of his toys. This was after he got Jessie, so it looks like he's 7 or maybe 8 here. And we can see Molly celebrating her 2nd birthday and she is already walking. Fast forward to current time, the toys have been in his original toy chest for a good while now. Andy has of course aged, but he's keeping them for sentimental reasons, and is actually a sensitive subject for him even when asked what he's going to do with them. In the same room he was in before, There's numerous posters covering the blue painted walls with stars on them, and if you pay close attention, he was an athlete for soccer. The toys are obviously trying to reach out to Andy and figure out where they're meant to go. His relationship with Molly is as you would expect, continuously telling her to get out of his room and having a bit of an attitude with his mother, but reassuring her everything is okay when his room is finally packed up. In the end, Woody ends up making the decision that it would be best if all of the toys, including him, would be passed to another kid, Bonnie, to which Andy obviously agrees as well. Deep down, I really believe that Andy didn't want to give the toys to just anyone. That's why he was initially going to store them in the attic. They were old toys, but still in very good condition, and wanted them to stay that way. He has a hard time handing off Woody to Bonnie, but knows it's for the best. Moving ahead to Toy Story 4, even though we don't get much time with Andy, we managed to get a flashback scene of him, looking a bit older than we saw him in Toy Story 2 when he was 7, looking to be about 10 here. During this time, I want to assume that Andy is now 1 year older, as Bonnie has just started her first year of kindergarten and now is not interested in playing with Woody anymore. As far as in the further future, Toy Story 5, the only plot that would make the most sense is Andy and Woody coming together one last time. However, if we were to see Andy once again, I truly believe that Andy would still be in college, considering the fact that the writers don't really age Andy that much, the most being maybe 10 to 17. Assuming they did create a Toy Story 5, I strongly think Woody would have found where Andy was and be a little bit curious as to wanting to see him again. He's even accidentally said in Toy Story 4 that Forky will be there for Andy when he needs him. The problem with this is Woody is way too attached to Andy, even at this time, and he tries to force any other toy who Bonnie or Andy took a liking to and persuaded them to believe that they had one purpose in life and couldn't change it. Producer Mark Nielsen has disclosed a possibility of a 5th film, as Pixar is not ruling out that possibility. I've also mentioned and created an entire other plot for a 5th sequel if you want to check that out as well.
Say goodbye to Molly? Mom, we've said goodbye like 10 times.